My fellow fighters and the people of the world. Today, I want to do something very special and something very different. I want to speak about some of the reasons I believe Julius Malema has become one of the most relevant politicians, even in the midst of all the hate and all the love. He has become the most relevant politician in South Africa, and there is no one who comes close. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you something you didn't expect. Just because you hate someone does not mean that person automatically becomes irrelevant. And just because you love someone does not mean that person automatically becomes irrelevant. What do I mean? Because you hate him and you speak about him and how much you hate him every day, by you doing that, he's relevant. You are making him relevant, and he is relevant because you are speaking about him. By you supporting him, loving him, and speaking about him every day, that means he's relevant. He's in the center of conversations every day. There is no day where he's not the center of conversations. There's a YouTuber somewhere out there every day talking about him. Exclude me. Think about your favorite YouTubers, whether those who speak bad or good about him, but they are there speaking about him. And I repeat, just because you speak bad about him does not make him irrelevant. What makes him relevant is you speaking about him, whether good or bad. And who is the guy who everyone is talking about almost every day? President Jacob Zuma? I don't think so. Not anymore. President Ramaphosa? I don't think so. Not anymore. Gaten McKenzie? I don't think so. Not anymore. General Muanazi? Definitely. And with General Muanazi, there is more love. There is more love. And he's very relevant. And he's about to become even way more relevant, because he's going to be confessing in the Madlanga Commission. Hopefully, everything goes well there. We are rooting for Muanazi to do the right thing, expose this criminal syndicate. Unfortunately, we have lost the battle of expecting him in the other committee. So we have to accept that the only way for him to speak and spill the beans will be in the Madlanga Commission. The rest of how the processes will work, we all know, but the thing is not binding. So whatever he said is still up for contestation, and whether people disagree with it or not. So it's not like when he speaks, it's going to be gospel. But at least he's going to be speaking. And shout out to him for that. We are rooting for Muanazi. God bless Muanazi. Good luck, Muanazi. On the 17th, he will be speaking for the first time after that press conference and that interview he done with Sunday World. He's going to be speaking. He's going to swear on a book. Hopefully, he must swear under oath and say this. Whatever he says is the truth and nothing else but the truth. And then he starts speaking. Then I would believe I now says Yakala Manj. So, he's one of those guys who are relevant. Every day, he's the center of conversation. People speak about him. There's not much people speaking bad about him because he's one of the most loved people. We love him very much in South Africa, Muanazi. Well-respected guy. Ndlozi, I don't think he's relevant. People barely talk about him. The only time people were talking about him, and I'm sure you know which time it was, and I'm sure you know why they were talking about him. Because they were talking about him because he was talking about someone else. Who was he talking about? He was talking about Julius Malema. And then it sparked a big whole conversation. And Ndlozi got to be in the center of it. But was it because he was talking about himself? No. He became the center of conversation because he was commenting on who? On Julius Malema. So I don't think he's relevant. He's not. Floyd, a little bit relevant. Because day in, day out, there's people who talk about him. Hate, love. There's a balance of it, but I don't think there's a lot of love towards Floyd. There's plenty of hate and plenty of disdain because many people don't like him. There is those who love him, those who respect him. They are there and they are following him, but it's not that much compared to the people who hate him. And here I'm speaking internationally, not just in South Africa, internationally. So I don't think, okay, I think Floyd is relevant. And the relevancy of him being in the center of conversation is coming from most people hating him. It's not a balance of love and hate. It's usually too much hate, too much disrespect towards him. And then Mzanele Mani, definitely not relevant, irrelevant. Who else? John Steenhuisen, who talks about him? Nobody talks about him. Helen Zille, nobody talks about him. Julius Malema. I believe internationally, it's a balance of love and hate. There's those who love him and they love him strong. And there's those who hate him and they hate him with passion. That balance of both is the reason why his brand will never be defeated. You can try. You can do whatever you want to do. And remember this. Just because you hate him does not mean he's irrelevant. What makes him relevant is you talking about him. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. This guy has to be. There's no, okay, love and hate. Whether you think about the worst case hateful scenario or the best case love scenario towards Julius Malema. Hate comment or love comment. I don't care which one you think about or which one comes first. Or both. You can think about both. Who receives the most attention when it comes to love? Who receives the most attention when it comes to hate? Julius Malema and others. Who would you put there to compete and say, this one must be truly? It used to be President Jacob Zuma when the MK party started. But as time went, the MK party is not the center of conversation anymore. It used to be, and I used to say it. President Jacob Zuma is very famous. But I don't think now he is that much relevant like that. Let's be honest. And relevancy, I'm talking about people talking about you. Every day you're trending. There's a conversation, whether between hate or love. I don't think President Jacob Zuma, there's much hate or love towards him compared to how Julius Malema hate and love is. At this right moment, guys. So, you guys think you are destroying him, but you're just making him relevant. You're just making him trend. You're just making his brand, his name, the algorithm, just favor him. That's why when they release a tweet, it makes millions and millions of views. When you tweet, it goes crazy. Why? It's social media. Algorithms work like that. But it's something you wouldn't know. One day I'll get to the technicalities of it. But for now, just think about what I just told you. I was not trying to make a point. I was just trying to spark your mind. But it is what it is, guys. We thank you very much. Thank you.